Hey guys, welcome back to Doki Literature Club. This is going to be part 2. Sorry if my voice is a little off, I'm still getting over being sick, but I wanted to record another episode for you guys. So let's get right back into it here. And you can use the skip button to fast forward through text you already read. Okay.
Hi again, Kyun. Glad to see you didn't run away on us.
Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out.
Thanks for keeping your promise, Kyun. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it.
Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan on just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't even see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room.
Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying the word Monica and manga.
Manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki bossed back into her seat.
Don't worry, guys. Kyun always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room.
How dependable.
Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once.
Is that so?
You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous.
How come? You and Kyun can become good friends too.
Oh. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation you just put me into.
Oh. Yuri even brought you something today, you know.
Sorry.
Wait, Sayori.
Me?
Not really.
Don't be shy.
It's really nothing.
What is it?
Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do?
Huh? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking.
God, my voice is trash. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. We'll just put it that way. It'll make me happy no matter what.
Is that so?
Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be.
Alright. Well, here.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you're interested.
Oh,
If you want it.
this is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically took the book.
Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace.
Man, my voice is cracking like crazy.
I look forward to hearing what you think.
Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. Can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she has lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages.
Crap.
Oh wait, oh. Crap, I think she knows me looking at her. She she sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But then I makes her hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason.
Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book?
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling you, and I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? What's it about, anyway?
Well,
Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover.
alright. I just want to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust.
My god, Yuri is so hard to voice.
No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart.
That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Kyon?
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into these things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that... it's just that those kind... Oh, whoops.
It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their... or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be some kind of naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans.
Could you stop talking?
I'm rambling, aren't I?
Well, yes, you are.
Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything, even though I have.
Well, I guess it's alright then, but I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much.
Oh, please leave me alone, Yuri. I can't keep voicing you. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Oh my god, that was cute. I might as well get started reading it, right?
You don't have to.
What are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company. Reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not particularly a bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
So sorry. I was just...
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Oh my god. Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. That's so cringe.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. This is so stupid! You're just reading the same book! Wait, actually, she's rereading it. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. What? That sounds mildly uncomfortable. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Oh my god. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides under her thumb after flipping it to the side. But I'm holding it like this, We're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
Huh? To turn
the page.
Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn to my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches on her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
You think so? How does she?
Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms.
I see.
Yuri remains silent for a moment.
But Kyon, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Oh, that's so embarrassing that you think that.
Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way. Sorry, I didn't really think you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute.
What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone.
Thank God. Thank you, Monica.
I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long.
Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought.
Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you?
I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way.
Huh. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time.
Alright. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag.
By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night?
Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with?
I can't wait.
Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Monica! I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem and I want her to know I'm putting in effort.
Hi, Kyon. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring those up, okay?
Alrighty, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Kyon. We're a little embarrassed today, don't you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
Great job, Kyon. I was going, ooh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway.
You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imaginary and symbolism? Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Ugh. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri at this point. I never really asked, though.
I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet.
Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot.
It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this.
That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds and styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It was just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything, a hole of infinite choices. I realized now that I wasn't looking in, I was looking out. And he on the other side was looking in. It's kind of creepy.
So what do you think?
It's very freeform, if that's what you want to call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently? I don't know how to pronounce that. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. So if you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Ugh, who should I show my poem to next? Let's get Yuri out of the way. Oh boy. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
Huh? What's that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri.
Oh.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly and looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new letters is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and their expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes.
Oh, whoops. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do.
Whoops.
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily as if it's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calms breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. Unique! Not really a poem guy.
I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting.
I thought that was pretty good for cursive. What? I wasn't thinking of that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Huh? That's a relief.
Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really just descriptive, bruh.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Kyon.
Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I
suppose you didn't only glance over it at all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolic compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past.
Oh my god.
And soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Kyon.
Me too. Alright guys, we're gonna pack it up here because my voice is already killing me and I'm still partially sick. Hopefully that was bearable for you to watch. If you guys like me voicing the female characters and think it's funny, let me know in the comments, subscribe. If you want to see the next part, be sure to let me know. Thanks for watching, bye.